Our popularity was as raving as her deaths. The death of the late popular gospel artist Osinachi Nwachukwu has stirred up the debate over abusive marriage on social media. The police have arrested the husband of the late popular gospel artist Peter Nwachukwu over her death. According to reports, the Dunamis International lead singer passed away at a hospital after receiving treatment due to severe chest pain sustained by domestic abuse by her husband. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer Joseph Ada confirmed that Nwachukwu is in their custody pending conclusion of investigations. Jide, I don't understand this till death do us part marriage. Yes, that's the vow they used to take in the altar, but as we've seen now, death, you don't have to see death before you leave that marriage in case when the thing becomes toxic and abusive.
Yes, I don't also agree that God gave us life to fritter it away cheaply. I do not agree. God gave us life and He said we can have it in abundance. Having it in abundance is not to stay in an abusive relationship. Abusive relationship can be of different types. It could be sexual, it could be physical, it could be emotional. Just get out of it.
If you are not happy,
just get out of it. If your life is in danger, most especially, because you are not as strong as the man, and the man turns you to a punching bag and does that consistently.
And
you don't
care. You want to look at what the church members will say, what your family will
churches
say,
will tell you,
the opinion of other people.
Churches will tell you
your happiness.
Churches will tell you, no, don't get out of this relationship. It's not good. God does not want divorce. But churches should also be quick to tell us that God does not condemn those who are divorced, because the same scripture says that God says, come to me. So those who are in need of emotional stability, God is ready to receive them. If He is God, then He cannot reject those who are divorced, especially on account of coming consistently under physical abuse. I know that God cannot be so wicked as to be happy to see someone in a kind of relationship that could lead to his death, and then He will want that person to remain there. No, that's redefining the nature of God. Imagine that God will know that you are in a relationship that can cost you your life, and He will be happy to have you remain there until you lose your life. No, He gave us life in abundance. That means He's happy to see us not just stay alive, but prosper. So never bother yourself about what people will say, what the church will say. They are not in your shoes. They are not in your shoes. You are the one who knows where it pinches you. And once everything has ended, you will discover that even some of these people that you don't want them to complain, they won't be there for you and your family
at all.
For most men who are good family men, they don't want any situation that will make them to lose their wives. And I've seen people lose their wives either through childbirth or anything, who refuse to remarry because they are not sure that the incoming woman will treat the children just as much as their mother treated them. And the moment you maltreat the children of a woman who is dead in the presence of the husband, that memory will keep coming back. That's why a lot of men refuse to remarry, because they can't get that guarantee. So pushing is like committing suicide to remain in a relationship where your husband or even your wife, because it's a two-way thing. We've seen many women these days kill their husbands in their sleep and all that. One just did it some days back, I think in Osun, because that one announced I was going to get a second wife. The next thing is the woman took his life while he was sleeping. So whether it is for the man or the woman, abusive relationship, just make sure that you get out of it before it is too late.
I'm talking about a personal experience now. Now it is on both sides. Yes. Once your happiness is going to be compromised, once you see that, look for the rest of your life, that this is becoming toxic and this is becoming abusive. But because of religion, because of what people will say, a lot of people will stay in there and look at this sister, she has to pay with her life.
I think people who, let me speak as a Christian, I think people who use such as an excuse are either ignorant or mischievous. After the fall in the garden, if you look at the Bible, God told the woman that your desire shall be after your husband. And I've never seen any woman whose desire is for the husband to be battering her. I've never seen it anywhere. Then the man is expected to take care of his family. And there are qualifications that even in the church, if a man wants to take a position, the Bible spells out the qualifications, the character traits the man has to have. And none of it includes he should be a wife batterer or he should maltreat his wife. It's not there. In fact, where it even talks about the qualification for a deacon, he says he should be able to take care of his house. And then again, another place says a man who can take care of his wife is worse than an unbeliever. So now, a man who batters his wife cannot be said to be somebody who is serving God. So if ministers of the gospel, maybe for fear of maybe losing members, or for fear of maybe losing,
now she's a gospel at least.
Even the church where she was ministering has not said anything.
If she leaves this man,
if you go on
they
Twitter,
might not be calling her for administration because she's a divorcee, or the perception and the opinion of what Christians will say.
The Jew of the church and his wife, they tweet regularly. But on this, they have been silent, even up till now. So, what example are they trying to show? So it even shows that the woman had no solid support base. You've read the interview a newspaper had with the eldest sister, where it looked like the man told them, was said to have told them that they couldn't do anything to him. I think, I'm happy. Unfortunately, the woman died, but this thing took place in the FCT. And the FCT was the first to adopt the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. So it's clear, the police have their work cut out. Once they're able to establish culpability on the part of the man, the VAPP should be applied speedily so that the family will get justice.
We have to leave all our dogmas, those things that they used to tell us and everything. They are not in conformity with today's reality.
Yes. Maybe
our mothers, they used to survive the battery of our fathers.
Our parents, our mothers were much more submissive. Some of the social issues that we have now were not there. The pressures that people go through, that couples go through now, were not there. In those days, you are a graduate, companies are in competition
to employ you. So economic reason is not the issue.
A lot of families are in distress now. A lot of marriages are under threat now because of social problems, issues of he does not have a job to do, this and that. I know someone, I know a woman who harassed his husband or her husband emotionally and physically at a time when he didn't have a job. And that man, invariably, the woman was behaving the way she liked. Go home, go out, you will not even tell him anything. The way, when you lose your job as a man, the way you get spoken to even changes. You are now treated like a leper. You are treated like a sweet wrap on the floor with no value. So
you are not in charge.
You are not in charge.
Financially.
You are not in charge. At a point, your wife could even tell you to go and take the job of a megad, just so that you have a job. When that friend of ours eventually now got another job, he had no choice to move out. He was just waiting for that opportunity. He said, if my wife could be this terrible in my time of adversity, then I have no reason to remain with her for the rest of my life. And that was the end of the marriage. That was the end of the marriage. So a lot of things happen these days. For me, look at the young man that was killed by the wife, the one that even posted it on Facebook. Say, I survived. He said, I survived an attack by my wife.
First night,
instead of him to move out of that house, take to his heels, he slept there. The same woman went back.
Yes, went back. The woman
stabbed him repeatedly until he killed him. Why must you wait until you get killed? When you get killed, it's your children that will suffer. In our world today, people have their own issues. They will not take care of those children for you. You see those children moving from one point to another, and people denying them help. So people have to use their head. Use your head beyond what you are told, either in your church or in the mosque. Use your head. Is it commonsensical to behave in this way? If it's not commonsensical, then you get out. The sister was narrating how they were traveling and the man was overspeeding, and the wife said, this overspeeding, reduce this speed now. He replied with a slap. This same man.
For such
if all of those things are
popular woman,
Madunagu, if this what we had read about this guy were to be the truth,
a lot of things left much to be desired.
Then his case should be handled expeditiously, and the law of the land should be visited on him.
The children should even be taken away from him.
All right, bandits who attacked the Kaduna-Abuja bound train on the 28th of March have paraded their victims in a yet-to-be-identified location. In the viral video, the gunmen were seen sporting military camouflage and uniforms. While putting the victims under pressure, the bandits made their captives call on the federal government to come to their aid. Let's share the story with you.
It's nearly 2 weeks after an attack on a Kaduna-bound train claimed 8 lives and wounded many. Among the unspecified number of persons kidnapped by the assailants, only one has been released. The assailant had, in a video prior to the release of the managing director of the Bank of Agriculture, said they were not out for money. But they wanted something from the government, although conflicting reports claimed money had changed hands to secure the freedom of Alwan Ali Hassan.
Or the bandits and terrorists that Sheikh Gumi met have had over time established links with the jihadists operating in the Sahel region in the northeast and the Sahel region of this. So if they begin to say, okay, they meant that the federal government knows some of their demands, I may think maybe it may be one of those, or it may be something we don't know.
There are indications that negotiations are on for the release of others still in captivity, even though their captors are yet to make clear their demands. It has also emerged that the attackers may not just be bandits but jihadist fighters from a faction of Boko Haram in the Sambisa. Experts who examined the video clip but declined to be filmed say the approach is typical of Boko Haram but with elements of gunmen operating in the northwest of the country. While security forces have stepped up operations in the northwest, the spate of attacks in communities in the region has also increased.
Weapon alone does not translate to victory in the battlefield. A lot of other things need to be in place before you can see the impact. You may have all the right weapon, but if you lack the morale, the resilience, the support, political will to do the fighting, it will not translate. I'll give you an example of what happened in Afghanistan.
The security challenges in the country are constantly changing, just as security forces are also reviewing their strategy. Experts say that the result is not commensurate with the efforts. Sifon Asian, TVC News, Abuja.
Just by Sifon Asian there. Now, Babajide, looking at this now, it's now becoming obvious that all we have we have a group of bandits that are so much driven by their passion for money, and they will do anything to get that money and to inflict more pains on us. So the more we pay the ransom, the more they import weapons, and because I don't see, they are not using the money to buy gold or silver or wear good clothes. So we
the more
are
weapons you have, the more powerful you are as a bandit leader. Others will respect you, and your territory will then expand, because they are also constantly fighting among themselves. How did Dogo Gide become powerful? He went into the forest of Dansandao and took out Buhari Ndaji. Buhari Ndaji's corpse was left in the bush for almost 1 week, completely decayed, before the military went to retrieve his corpse. And since then, Dogo Gide has become very strong. He masterminded the kidnapping of those FGC students. He is operating from Niger, parts of Kaduna, right into Zamfara and Kebbi. That is strength.
The numerical strength of...
Strength, not just numerical strength, weapons, weaponry. It's the weaponry that tells people that, look, if I confront this person, it will teach me a lesson. So everyone has his own area of influence. You do not...
So right now, Dogo Gide seems to be the most ruthless.
It's in my view now, the most dangerous. People talk about Bello Tuji and the rest, but in terms of influence, in terms of what Dogo Gide has carried out, the operation that is carried out, in terms of what is done, even to fellow bandits, then you know there is someone that you have to fear. So, and that is the thing. You see, when people talk now about, we have now discovered that these are not just bandits, that elements of Boko Haram. If people play back this program, for at least 1.5 years, I had been saying that these Boko Haram elements had gone to the north central and the northwest. But because we like to deceive ourselves, we wanted the world to believe that Boko Haram had not spread its tentacles beyond the northeast. We were in denial. When the students of government science secondary school Kankara were kidnapped, who released the video? Was it not Shekau that released the video? He was one who organized the kidnap. So they had been working together even before then. In two salas ago, in Niger State, Shekau published pictures of his men in a Niger State forest. And I said it on this program.
And it was corroborated by the governor.
The governor himself said that Boko Haram was controlling some territories in Niger State. Now, it's now looking strange to us that some people stormed the train. Because we chose to believe ourselves, believe our own lies. These guys, it's not a new thing. And the DSS guys are watching me. The DSS issued a security report around November, December last year, saying that Boko Haram leaders
There's a kind of
had
infiltration
come to the north central to have meetings with bandits. They were beginning to work together. So what we have now is clearly, it's not terrorism. What happened, the attack of the train, it's not terrorism. Terrorism is not defined like that. These guys are after money. It's banditry now. A new phase of banditry is what we are seeing. They now have greater capability because they are working with Boko Haram, who can also help them in terms of bomb making.
Explosives.
You know, they didn't have the capability to make bombs. Now with Boko Haram elements working with them, they can make bombs to destroy rail tracks.
This is the first time I see bandits start recording videos.
It's not the first time. They've been doing that. When one of the security analysts that I respected said it, I said, you should be more current than this. When they kidnapped those travelers in Niger State Transport Authority bus, did they not show video?
I remember.
When they kidnapped the students, students of Forestry Institute in Kaduna, they were flogging them. I'm talking of people who went for a marriage and they were stopped in a bus, Niger State bus. They showed the video. When they grabbed the armored vehicle of the Nigerian army, did we not see them with the vehicle? Why are people saying that this is the first time that they are showing video? They've shown videos up to a dozen times. Bandits. We can gather those videos and play to people. So it's not, this thing is not new. They have been doing this thing for some time. We just didn't take them seriously. Now look at what is happening before our eyes.
We allowed banditry to fester to the extent that there's like infiltration of Boko Haram. They're now like working together now. It's synergy, because this kind of audacious attack, the bomb, the time bomb, everything to carry it out, they claim the responsibility. Right now, what we have now is that we still have, some people say over 100 of those passengers still with them.
They still have FGC, they still have captives. If I name it, they still have captives.
For this,
going back to Chibok, that's what I'm saying. It has become a pattern. They're still holding the Chibok girls of how many years ago? It's become a pattern. You see, the point is this. It's so unfortunate the way our security intelligence system works in Nigeria. At times you see heads of security agencies who come out, give very good information, and thereafter the whole thing, gets buried in wonder. A former Inspector General of Police, I don't remember if it's Mohammed Adamu also, said it clearly that Ansaru, a branch of Boko Haram, had moved. If you remember the attack on, was it Air Force, airmen or soldiers, in Kogi State?
Yes, on the way to Lokoja.
There was that attack. And then the Inspector General of Police at that time came out clearly to say it was Ansaru, that Boko Haram, a branch of Boko Haram, had moved down to the north central. I think Kogi somehow was able to repel them. They moved to Niger. So the point is this. Yes, the military is doing so well in the northeast, dealing with Boko Haram and ISWAP. But the point is this. The root, those really into this thing, government has to confront them and clear them. It may be difficult because these people have built up weaponry. But you see, if you keep dishing out money to them, they'll keep getting stronger until they might do the unimaginable. So government has no option. Government cannot retreat. The security agencies cannot retreat. They must find a way, using conventional or unconventional means, to root out these guys.
Jide, when we take it to now the southeast now, still on security matters, Governor Charles Sukuma Soludo has ordered that 21 local governments should be shut because of this insecurity we're still talking about. And this one is from, I can't say ESN, renegade groups, cultists, and
it's just the same set of criminals making life unbearable for people in the southeast. And in the last 1 week, they've been really very active, negatively active, taking people's lives, attacking security formations.
To Anambra.
Today, again, we got a report that in Imo, they set ablaze the home of the Attorney General.
And his father's house.
Today. When a governor came in promising that, look, he's going to address this problem, he even set up a truth commission. So I don't know what, now you now go to his own local government headquarters and set it ablaze. That's a man who was one of the people who was pushing for the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
That's Soludo himself.
Yes. So the way things are now in the southeast, especially Anambra and Imo, those attacks have become too frequent in the last few days. And any day that Kanu is taken to court, if it doesn't fall on a Monday, there will be a sit at home. And those who breach it will be dealt severely with by this boy. So I really don't understand, I don't know what's going on. Who do we talk with? Who do we talk with? Because IPOB has said that it is no longer interested in sit at home on Mondays anymore. But it's still being enforced. Who are the people enforcing it? Who sent them? IPOB that instituted that version of civil disobedience in the first place, they've said no, we are no longer interested. But some people have taken it upon themselves to be enforcing it. So the governor's threat amounted to nothing. When he says the civil servants must always come to work on Mondays, the people refuse. And with this insecurity getting this bad, I don't think that people will have the courage to come out on Mondays and say they want to go to work. Because it's becoming like the way it is sometime last year. Because almost every day now, reports of attacks on people. And I don't understand if you said, because a threat was issued that anybody, any local government worker who comes to work is paying with his life. Maybe that's why the governor took the decision. But for how long are we going to keep local government headquarters shut? They too have their responsibilities to the people.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. It's just perplexing what's going on.
Emeka, can you give us an insight? I don't know how.
No, you see, the thing is
I don't know.
The thing is this. The thing, I go home regularly. The point is this, let me tell you. I'm an Igbo man. There is a point when you leave talk and you face recalcitrant people. I think, I've said it, Soludo, yes, carrot and stick approach. The police must come back fully to the streets of the southeast. The police have abandoned their stations. They are just virtually not there. You just see them in Oka and Onitsha.
You don't see them themselves.
You don't. Sorry, you don't.
Targets.
You don't see. So the police. Yes, the police. But there were these threats in other places, but the police didn't abdicate. They came back in full force. They have to re-strategize. They have to make sure that you see those people. You can't tell me that these guys are stronger than security agencies. No. That to say, okay, that this Monday sit at home must end. If Governor Chukwuma Soludo says it has to end, and I will end it in 2 weeks, he can end it.
How? How?
He has to talk. Yesterday, okay, some days ago, there was something he said about the identities of those people. Was it on Saturday? Youths in some towns went looking for some of those guys they suspect had been involved in these things, burned their houses, burned their cars, and even burnt a shrine used by these people to show that, look, it's not just these people from other states. Some of these people are from within us. When you touch base with the people, like I've said it, there was a time Onitsha was dreaded in the 80s. It was so bad. Criminality was so bad. Armed robbery was so bad until the traders woke up and said, wait a minute. Are we going to now abandon our business because of these criminals? Now they had what they call Boys Oye, which was mob action, response by the people. And the people themselves captured these armed robbers. There was a notorious armed robber called Otondo. They captured these people and put an end to it. You saw Mbadinuju, he had an idea, just unfortunate that he derailed along the line. But he had an idea that we must use community-based policing. Must add community-based policing to the conventional system.
It would be argued that was set up by the governors of the South.
Anambra State government did set up. Anambra State already has Anambra Vigilante Service, which some of these guys have been threatening. That's why I said the community. Ibuagu is in Ebonyi State. That's where other states. It's only Ebonyi. Other states didn't set it up. So, and the unfortunate thing is that Southeast governors are divided. They have not been holding meetings. They've not been holding meetings. They must come.
They are more
they must set aside
politics.
They must set aside their differences and come together to deal with this existential threat. Then, thirdly, on social media, there are people promoting these things. The government, Alhaji Mohammed, who is the Minister of Information, must reach out to some of these social, Facebook, Twitter, and the rest of them, that these accounts promoting this insurgency Southeast, they should be taken down. These accounts should be taken down, so that these people can have access to be telling people, sustain it at home. There's one lady, notorious. She lives abroad, I think in Europe. She's one of those who constantly promote this thing, and people know her, and yet she still comes on Facebook. Why not take down such an account? Flag such a person. Sorry?
Or reporter.
Reporter, flag such a person. This is government.
It is the fear in the hearts of people.
Yes.
Not just really what is posted on
fear, but you see the problem is that
over time in the hearts of people.
But government has to reassure the people. Soludo has been doing that. He has been trying to reassure the people.
It does not control this thing.
He's gradually getting there. But you see, the Southeast government
does not control security.
But he works with them. They work together.
And don't forget, these are early days for the governor. So it's not.
That's why I'm saying that the Southeast governors must come together. They must resolve their agreement. Soludo was not there when they fell apart. When Obiano, his predecessor, said he wouldn't attend their meetings anymore. So I think he needs to adopt a new approach. Reach out to the Southeast governors.
I have a feeling that even if Nnamdi Kanu comes out tomorrow to say everybody stop, that there are some people that they have authority.
They won't stop. Some people are using the Biafra agitation for business, for banditry, for criminality.
Autism.
That is it. That is clear. Some are criminals, clear-cut criminals. They have nothing to do with any.
It's difficult to say that it may not stop, because the whole thing began with the incarceration of. Yes. So, are you saying that if they release him today and everyone is happy?
No, it began before, because there were videos on Facebook where they beheaded a security advisor to the governor of Imo State. He was beheaded and they paraded his head.
Sit at home. This sit at home. The idea of sit at home
has
to do with Nnamdi Kanu.
They've been progressing.
I have Victor calling us from Anambra State. Thank you for joining us, Victor. Hello, Victor.
Go on, I can hear you.
Okay, please, thank you for joining us.
Let's have your contribution.
Yeah. Good evening to everybody there.
Good evening, Victor.
So please, I've been hearing your topics concerning Anambra and the security issue. I believe my brother over there with you are 100% right. If Soludo wants to stop this thing, he will stop it. There are few local governments that are cementing all these problems. You understand? What you have to do is you descend heavily on those local governments, like that Aguata, like the one near Imo State, Anambra State boundary. Then the one at former governor's local government, Agulere. You understand? Onitsha North, Onitsha South, Newi, some part of Newi, some part of Oka. There is no problem like that. Sit at home. It is those local government at the hinterland or boundaries, most especially Imo State boundary. He descends heavily on them, gets equipment like armored personnel, APC or MRAP. The security is expensive, for goodness sake. Security is expensive. You have to do that. Stamp your feet on the ground, and this nonsense will stop. Again, there's another this thing I saw on. I want to confirm with you people. I saw on social media where Nigerian military are dealing with bandits. You understand, packing them inside. So I want to confirm if it is true. Then number 3 again is, why are we not using, Baba, this one is for you. Why are we not using our Tukano on these bandits? Why? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I will allow Jide to, because for honest, we still had the kind of elaborate discussion over this issue this morning. So I will allow Jide to answer your question.
Well, the Americans have told us that we should not use the Tucanos outside of the Northeast. I don't think the Air Force is prepared to go against that agreement.
So it must be
because because of the Leahy law, which ensured that America didn't sell weapons to us during the Jonathan era. It was when the immediate past president of the U.S. came that he invited our president and said, "Look, I'm going to brush aside this Leahy law and sell weapons to you." And the whole idea of the Leahy law is to ensure that weapons are not used against protesters, against human rights activists and all that. So before they agreed to sell the weapons, they told us
expressly,
you will use it only on terrorists. And as far as they are concerned, terrorism was happening only in the Northeast, because at that time it was Boko Haram. Banditry was not this bad. It was Boko Haram that we were really facing. And what Trump said was that I will help you to defeat terror. He told our president that day when he met him. So their own effort was about the Northeast, their own concern. Now, having signed that deal that you will not use the Tucanos outside of the Northeast, they have their own means of monitoring us. If we by any means take the Tucanos to that place, don't deceive yourself, they will know. And they are the ones who will provide the spares. They are the ones even providing training. They trained the pilots. Maybe they are even still around working with our technicians and all that. You know, so I'm not sure that we have been using the Tucanos in that area. I'm not sure. Let me not talk like a security person. I'm just providing a background, because we have made progress in the Northeast. Nobody can deny that, because the Tucanos have been really at work.
They've been using it.
They've been using it. They've killed most of their leaders. And those guys have been weakened. Attacks on military bases have literally ended. Unlike before, when every time they go and attack a military base in the Northeast, we've dealt with them sufficiently. And they are bringing in, even the T-72s are being repaired, they are bringing them back. So we are making good progress over there in the Northeast. But the Northwest, I still think that we need to invest more on ground attack helicopters. Buy more. The Russians are willing to sell. Buy more. Then use them in that area. They will do the job. Instead of us talking about Tucano all the time. Other weapons can do the damage.
Because of the impression that was created when we were expecting the Tucano.
But we are making it's doing wonders in the Northeast.
Yes.
At least I was there. I can testify. I spent Christmas in the Northeast.
I will tell you.
So yes, they are making progress. Anyone, even no matter how much you hate the army, you will see that they are making progress in the Northeast. You know, and the Tucanos are in the thick of action over there.
Yeah, so definitely just aligning with what you're saying. It's all about international politics, how we play our politics. We need to really continue. Government needs to continue its push against these criminal elements. But let's look at something. You see, the caller mentioned Aguleri. For years, Aguleri and Umuleri had been involved in communal clashes for long. Now, somehow, I think Obiano and Obi were able to sort those guys out. And the only place they have problems from time to time is Umumbo, where there were issues last year. But you see, these people have weapons. So when you displace them from one theater of conflict, they look for another theater of conflict, because I mean it's illicit business, and so they just keep moving about. They are just hiding under the agitation to cause problems, and the government needs to be decisive about it. I love the approach that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has adopted, and they should continue. Just like pregnancy, political intentions, no matter how long it is hidden or denied, will surely come to light. Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has finally declared his intention to run for Nigeria's top job in 2023, ending months of speculations. In the broadcast, the Vice President formally declared his intention to run for the office of the President on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Professor Osinbajo joined other presidential hopefuls like Pastor Tunde Bakare of the Latter Rain Assembly and the Minister of Transportation, that's Rotimi Amechi, in the race. Here is a story of the Vice President's entry into the race for the 2023 presidency.
Uncertainty and what appears to be pussyfooting, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has declared his interest to contest for the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress.
Dear Nigerians, I believe that the very reason why the Almighty God gave me these experiences, these insights, and these opportunities is that they must be put to the use of our country and its great peoples. Which is why I am today, with utmost humility, formally declaring my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the platform of our great party, the All Progressives Congress. If by the grace of God and the will of the people I am given the opportunity, then I believe that first we must complete what we have started.
In a video released online, Vice President Osinbajo talked about his credentials of how he has worked neck deep in the Muhammadu Buhari administration to drive policy implementation and give the government direction.
For the past 7 years, I have served as Vice President under a true Nigerian patriot, a servant of the nation in war and peace, and a man of integrity, President Muhammadu Buhari. We have together worked through some of the most difficult times in the history of our nation, but we have remained focused on securing the country, on providing infrastructure, and growing our economy.
The VP's expression of interest is the first time a presidential aspirant will formally declare on social media. On Twitter, the microblogging site, Professor Yemi Osinbajo has 3.6 million followers. On Instagram, he has 872,000 followers. On TikTok, he has more than 80,000 followers and more than 700,000 followers on Facebook. His engagement using the social media has experienced an exponential growth over the years. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, a former Attorney General in the administration of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, was however silent about his stellar career working with the former governor of Lagos State, who is also a presidential hopeful on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Now that he has publicly declared his interest to occupy the most coveted seat in the country, he will come under intense scrutiny and will also walk a tightrope to emerge as the most preferred candidate of the APC. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Finally, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, you know, after a month of speculation, will he come out? Will he not come out? No, he's not going to come out because Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has declared that no, he will not come out. But right now, it is now official. He has thrown his hat to the ring, and the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gone in for the #1 seat. This is not the first time in this republic that we are going to be seeing something like this since 1999. But the Vice President, after the 7 years, and he's saying that, look, I'm in a better position to fill in the gap to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari.
It's for Nigerians to determine whether he's in a better position. That is a choice that Nigerians can make and will make. We have been president.
Will his fates be handled by Nigerians now or within this party
delegates?
Well, it's still Nigerians who
yes.
Those delegates are Nigerians. So there are two hurdles at the level of the primary election, and then wherever it goes, it's still Nigerians who will determine whether it's good enough to be the standard bearer of the party in the first instance, or as president, whether it's good enough to be president of the country. I think all along, my gut feeling was that he will contest, because if he was not going to contest, ordinarily he should have stopped some of his minders who were clearly pushing hard for him to contest. But since he did not appear to restrain them or stop them, I knew that somehow he was interested in the race. And it didn't come to me as a surprise at all. I was just waiting. I knew that as long as the deadline, we had not reached the point of deadline, that somehow he would throw his hat in the ring. And that's what he has done. He has chosen the medium of social media to reach out to the Nigerian people. Maybe that way he wrong-footed a lot of us, because we felt that, okay, he was going to make a public show of it, declare, maybe in a stadium, just like the governor of Kogi State did the other day. But he chose to declare on social media. He's within his right to declare in the way that he deems fit.
And the message has been sent across.
After all, the former governor of Imo State declared on the floor of the Senate before his colleagues. So the medium that anyone uses is...
so far the information get to the...
Now everyone knows that he's in the race. is an aspirant now, not a candidate as been erroneously mentioned. Is an aspirant.
Other aspirants.
Yes. So Nigerians will decide whether the vice president is the best person to succeed his boss, or the Nigerian people need a new broom, a new individual, to do the job. All that we want to see as journalists is let the contest be free and fair.
Yeah.
Let the contest be in conformity with the constitution of the party. Let there be a level playing field, because that is what democracy is all about. The APC constitution does not permit the choosing of a presidential candidate of the party by consensus. So
that the latest
more
trending thing, this consensus thing should not come up.
It is not in the constitution of the APC that for the presidential candidate that consensus module should be used. There has to be a contest. We're looking forward to that contest. President Buhari, despite the fact he was popular within the party, had to go through a contest. Even when they were even begging some of these guys to step down for him. They refused to step down. Okorocha ran against him.
Yes, even Sam
Isaiah. Buhari was his benefactor. Yet he contested against Buhari.
In 2014?
Yes, in 2014. So we're looking forward to that. Let the field be plain, level playing field. The more the merrier. We are happy. The party has some very capable people contesting. So let's have a level playing field.
Emeka, it's getting more interesting.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be competitive.
Yeah.
When you look at the caliber of people, former transport minister, now the transport minister coming out. Yes. Now the vice president coming out, and we've had the likes of Tunde Bakare coming out. Rochas Okorocha came out, and the governor of Ebonyi State is also out from the same party.
Yes, it's interesting. So let them go now and talk to the delegates that will vote. Let them talk to leaders of the party, and then let them keep engaging, because it's not just about coming out to declare, whether openly or through social media. You must engage with the people who are going to sleep overnight.
They want to decide
wherever the primaries will hold. You must reach out to them, and it's a lot of work. But again, according to the amended Electoral Act, you must not be seen to be campaigning, or else you run foul of the law. So they must strike a delicate balance.
Okay, at this time, have you?
At this time, yes. They must strike a delicate balance. Their foot soldiers should go beyond just hanging out on social media, trolling people, insulting people, calling people names. And say, you must engage with the issues. You must engage with the issues. And now is the time to ask critical questions. People are already asking questions about, they're already throwing questions at the vice president. And I think he should be courageous enough. And he should cool down, like Yorubas would say, he should farabale. Because they are going to throw things at him. He's going to come. So his lieutenants too should not lose their balance. People are going to throw things at, so that they will lose their balance, and one big story will come out in the newspapers, and that may make things difficult for him. You know,
when you were talking about the vice president not denying it, when his full soldiers were campaigning, coming out and everything, that you had the feeling that he is going to contest. One other person that falls into that category is the CBN governor. Posters all over, everywhere, and he has not been categorical. So we have, I don't know when this deadline will elapse for this phase, but I think Mr. How do you call it? Murphy 2023. Murphy should tell us what he's up to.
Well, he's still within his right to wait. He can even wait until the last minute. Maybe that's a strategy. But again, Nigerians will determine whether Emefiele, who took over when our currency exchange for the dollar at around 185 naira to a dollar. Whether he has managed our fiscal environment so well, whether he has given our currency the right fillip that it needs to now qualify him for bigger office. That is a decision for Nigerians to make. Nobody, we won't tell anybody to not try to contest, but people will be asked questions.
Yes,
Emeka was talking about questions.
Yes.
You know, if you put me in a hall with him, I remember when he came in, I knew the value of our currency at that time. He has presided over the devaluation of our currency. So people will ask, how come he got this bad during your time? So let's have more people. Bring it on. Let's have more people. The more the merrier. But they should be ready for the questions that Nigerians will throw at them. Thank God we live in the social media age. You can't escape so many things that people escaped in the past. They can't escape. And hopefully this set of aspirants will make themselves available for debate. Make themselves available so that Nigerians can choose. So let Emefiele or whoever, let them come into the race. You are not, it's not going to be delivered on a platter of diamond. You must work for it. And you must engage the people. You must not run away from the people. Engage the people because it is their decision.
Because some people will say we cannot afford to make the mistake we made in the past.
Yes, like
we have to be deliberate. We have to scrutinize whoever is coming out. We have to make sure that it's the person that can deliver the goods.
Yeah, people are already asking Osinbajo, you were a member of ASU when you were lecturing at ASU. Why is ASU still on strike?
No, Unilag.
Okay, why is ASU still on strike? And you're a professor of law. The administration has been accused, the Buhari administration has been accused of human rights abuses. What have you done about it? And a lot of things, things he has been. They actually
will ask questions. If you tout your credentials as a manager of the economy, the question that would then be asked is, what is the state of the economy at this time? Look at what's the influence of foreign direct investment? Are we making progress? So there are all kinds of parameters that people will look at and then judge you. You are not going to judge yourself. You are not going to judge yourself. I mean, it's not so easy to simply say, I'm in the race. Are you ready to stand the heat? Because if you are not ready to stand the heat, what are you doing in the kitchen?
All right, Emeka Madunagu,
thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much. And the best for himself, BQ Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Thank you for always being there.
I greet you.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11 p.m. and join us every Sunday for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzuwaku, and God bless Nigeria.